Greetings and a very good morning to you. Welcome to Wings of Libra, a place to rest your wings and uplift your spirit with guidance from the fairies. My name is KP. It's a blessing to be here with you all. All right, before we fly into our fairy wing reading for this morning, I would like to take a moment, and if you'd like to skip this part, of course, feel free, but I would like to take a moment to cleanse this space and offer you some of the smoke from the sage here, so that if you have anything from yesterday, that it can be cleansed and let go, and everything that is good, keep that, hold on to that. Whatever yesterday brought you, that helped you grow and expand, hold on to that, and anything that brought you down into a lower energy space, let's cleanse that. So let's take this moment. Let's bring in everything from yesterday and hold it. And let's release everything that does not serve us. Okay, thank you. Okay, and with that, now let's fly right into our fairy wing reading for this morning. The sun hasn't quite made its way here yet, so let me actually turn on the light. I just realized that might be a little bit dark to see the cards clearly, and Brian Froud brought forth such beautiful art for each card. It's definitely worth being able to see them clearly. Okay. Okay, one more. Oh, that was a little bit loud. Okay. Greetings, fairies. What would you like to tell us, Libra people, today? Who's with us? Who? Oh, okay. Right here. The Singer of Healing. Hey. Tell us about our wings, fairies. Okay, I feel like this is like trying to like make its way there, so let's see. Okay. I love the artwork on this card. It's so fun. The green woman is a really fun fairy. Hey, look at her. Sticking her tongue out. Okay. Not sure why I felt like we had to shuffle, but we're going along with it. Okay. Thank you, fairies. Can you tell us about our wings? Tell us about our wings. Libra wings for today. Okay, I feel like this is it. Like this whole clump. So let's go with it. Okay, and here we have the Topsy Turvettes. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry, there's like a whole conversation that was going on telling me don't flip them this way, flip them this way. Okay. Oh, we got a bonus today. Look at that. I don't know if you caught the last, or it wasn't the last just before this video, but there was a video a while back where we also received extended wings. Usually it's, well, generally when I do these, I just do these, but it was a couple of days ago that we actually got these ones too. So, okay, let's, let me see here, move this up so you can see it better. Uh-oh, I just realized that Liz is not showing up for you all as well. Okay, wow. We've been receiving a lot of extra lately. I really appreciate that. Okay, right here, the Singer of Healing. We have received this. Wow, and we received the Singer of Courage again in the rocker. This is interesting. Of course, you all saw me shuffling them, so it's not like I'm like, I'm going to pick these cards and put them here because of some strange reason that I made up or something. No, it's, you saw it. I just go with the flow of what I feel and I'm picking up, and here we are. Okay, enough of me being so giddy about this. So with the Singer of Healing, we received this card recently, and if I remember correctly, it was in the inverted position. So yay, it sounds like we are allowing the Singer of Healing for the most part. Now, of course, this is a collective Libra reading, so there may be some of us, of course, that may have this a bit turned, that maybe we're not allowing the Singer of Healing to come through, or maybe we don't feel it yet, but it's still here with us. We can allow this in. And for those of us that have been, let's keep it up. Okay, let's, for anyone that might be new here, I noticed a few new subscribers. Welcome, thank you. Let's go ahead and at least touch upon the Singer of Healing before we move on. If you've already seen the Singer of Healing's interpretation and want to skip this part, of course, go ahead and move on. But for everyone else here, let's go ahead and touch upon this card a bit. So with this card, as implied by its name, it has a lot to do with healing. This has to do specifically with healing of very, very deep wounds that would bring even immortals down emotionally if they let it. These are deep, deep wounds. Betrayal, abandonment, things that, and beyond, not to just mention those two, but not to get stuck there either. This is a card of deep healing. And oftentimes we have to allow the healing to flow through us. And we have to choose to allow ourselves to heal. Like, yes, it is someone's my daughter is singing in the background, but we must allow healing to flow through us, and we must allow ourselves to be receptive to it. Like, yes, maybe somebody hurt us, and yes, it might be their choice, so which makes it their fault, and they're on and on and on, but we are the ones that must, unfortunately, as unfair as it feels, we must pick up those pieces. We can't just sit around and expect those who hurt us to come back and be like, oh, hey, I hurt you. I'm so sorry. Let me fix that. Let me undo all the hurts and fix it all. That's something we must choose to do. We must heal ourselves and allow that. And our bodies do not do such things on our own. Oftentimes, hurt gets stored somewhere in our bodies. It's important to keep moving, even if you're not at the fittest time of your life. That's okay. Even starting with just a little bit at all. You could even do like face exercises, there's ones that are oftentimes pushed to slim your jawline and such, but the fact that you're moving any of your muscles at all, moving anything at all, it might inspire you to keep going. Maybe next you might do a arm exercise while sitting down, or exercises you can do while laying down. Surprisingly, there are lots that you can do. So even if you might be at a time in your life where you don't feel like you can really move, it's available to you if you will allow it to be. And in moving a little bit, sometimes, and of course, don't overdo it, because sometimes parts of us are hurt for a reason where we need to actually go into a doctor and have them examine us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying or encouraging anyone to go against that. But if starting with simply face exercises, just, moving your cheeks from side to side or blowing air into your cheeks, so forth, just moving it all can help with the process of healing, even though it's like, well, how? My heart got broken, so how is moving my face around going to help me? Well, it is you choosing to focus upon something else. It's you choosing yourself. It's you choosing to move forward. And things like that build up. It might not seem like it, because it's like, okay, well, I just did my face exercises, my heart still hurts, but you are moving in the right direction. And oftentimes, the links between different aspects of being are many, complex, and often obscure, and yet the principle of healing them is simplicity itself. I'm pulling this from the book right now. We need only to let go of the things that are hurting us and nurture ourselves with the things that benefit us. So simple, so difficult. The song of healing is present everywhere, and like other aspects of the great song of ecstasy, it is without limit. Healing can seem so complex as we dig our way through all our blocks and resistances and old stuff, but in the end, it is simply letting go and opening up. Learn everything you can from others. There is a lot of good information out there. Just keep the essential simplicity of the process in mind, and you won't go far wrong. This is a beautiful card, and I'm appreciative to see this again, and I'm proud of us. Some of us are allowing, and those of us who haven't been, we are invited to do so again. Okay, and the green woman popped right out. Of course she'd pop out upside down. She's the green woman. Okay. Oh, and if this was your first time seeing this song, Singer of Healing, there's a close-up. And here is the green woman. Oh. So we righted her. Now let's find out why she was upside down. So with the green woman, she is a fairy that doesn't care what anyone thinks. She dances naked in the moonlight and in the sunlight and in the shadows. She knows her own worth from her experience of life. She's the feminine, vital, vegetative force that enables a root to crack stone, the reed to bend in the wind, and the oak to stand against the storm. So she also is here to remind us of expectant gratitude, such as, for example, with a tree. A tree cannot move around in search of water. All it can really do is make its roots go deeper and wait. Yet at the same time, the green woman reminds us of this, and also reminds us that even though we have legs and can often take action to get what we want, or at least try to, sometimes there are things beyond our reach, such as with the tree wanting the water but not being able to go get it. This is when we're encouraged to be patient and to know that it is coming to us. Yet at the same time, she counsels us to take risks, to let new and unfamiliar wild seeds grow, to see what they may become, to watch them closely, as some of them may be miracles waiting to happen in our lives. So she also is here to speak to us of caring for our growing ground, and of the physical satisfaction of being our natural selves and practicing our own innate magic. It's a time for enhancing the growth of our talents and abilities, a time of blossoming that'll bear fruit. It may also be a time of growing maturity and self-confidence. It's interesting with the placement of this card because the other day in the Angels and Ancestors reading, if I remember correctly, we had the Spirit Fox here, which was telling us to trust ourselves, trust our instincts. And it's also telling us here to experience trusting ourselves again. So with her being in the inverted position, maybe some of us are allowing the healing, but then we're kind of like, okay, I'm starting to allow the healing, or maybe I recognize that I can allow myself to do so. And yet maybe we weren't moving forward. Maybe we still feel, well, I don't know if I'm healed up enough. I don't know if I can do this yet. But when we put ourselves in a state of stasis, like if we're going back and forth between like growth and stasis, we might end up yielding warped and twisted, stunted results. And at its worst, the destructive energy, or rather the energy when it's blocked, can become destructive, because it's like we want to do so much but we're holding on to it and we don't know what we're going to do. Even though we're being called to do something, even though we're inspired to do something, we're just holding on to all of our dreams and hopes and not moving in the direction of them. It can actually cause physical manifestations, which might sound crazy, but I experienced this for myself. A few years ago, I was having extreme stomach pain. I thought that it was like food poisoning or something. I didn't think it was a big deal until it was like happening for like the next day. And I'm like, okay, if I wake up in the morning and I'm still like this, I'm not actually going to go to the hospital. But I didn't even make it through the night. I ended up having to go to the hospital because it was like I couldn't even, get through that night. So when I went to the hospital, I checked in, and when I got examined, they were like, "Oh, you have this tumor." And I was like, "Wait, what?" Aren't I? And I started thinking thoughts that I wish I hadn't, but it was like, aren't I too young for this? Doesn't that happen to people who eat bad? Doesn't that? I got one. And when I asked why, they couldn't tell me. I'm like, okay, so how did this happen? And it was removed. It had been growing so big that that was what was happening at the time. I was carrying a little bit of weight on me, so it didn't really show. But when they showed me pictures of it, it was like, wow, okay, how is that growing and how did that happen? And they couldn't tell me. And it blew my mind because it was like, wait, you're doctors. Didn't you go to school for this? Shouldn't you know all of these things? What do you mean you can't tell me how it got here? And like, we can't tell you because we don't know. This isn't usually, something that we see. And there was one particular doctor, Dr. Howe, that was so sweet, and she was like so apologetic. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I wish I could tell you. I don't know." So in that, I started doing some research and came across chakra studies and a whole bunch of other things that aren't involving this particular deck or anything like that. But within my studies of the chakra systems, I had found some answers to what I feel had caused that. And the green woman here, if I had been maybe receiving guidance from the fairies back then, that was during the time when I had put this deck away and it was just kind of, sitting safely somewhere in my home. I think that maybe she could have reminded me not to sit on all of those things, because that's exactly what I was doing. I was driving for Uber and Lyft at the time, and I was paying the bills, but my dreams weren't coming forth because I wasn't doing anything to take me in that direction. My dreams weren't to just pay the bills. My dreams were to do so much more than that. And I was just sitting on them as I drove around the city of Las Vegas, taking people all over and like, oh yay, there's a bonus coming up. And it's like that paid the bills again, but it didn't take me forward in the direction of what brings me joy. Doing this, sharing this with you, it brings me joy. When I had first started doing this to just find some peace from all of the other things going on, it brought me joy. I thought, wow, I wonder if I can share this. And well, here I am. But some of us might still be in a place where we aren't allowing ourselves to expand upon those creative impulses that we receive. And this is a gentle reminder that when her energy is blocked, that growth is stunted. In its destructive mode, the energy of growth goes wild. And from the book, it literally says, cancers, both physical and emotional, may result. Alternatively, there may be no growth at all. But in fairy and this world both, we must either grow or die. We cannot simply hold still. So with that example that I was giving you from my own life earlier, I was holding still. I mean, yeah, I paid the bills and I was able to provide my family with a comfortable enough life, but it wasn't my dream to be an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. That wasn't something that really called to my heart or brought me joy. It was just something that brought quick money that I could see right away that same day. And so I kept chasing that when that wasn't even my dream either. It wasn't just to chase money every day. And it also was just me giving my power away in a lot of other ways, but that's my personal story that I'm not trying to burden you with. But just to share with you, to let you know, I understand this all too well when you or we or someone might not allow our creative energy to flow through us. I've seen it happen with members of my own family, within the elders community. I've seen it, of course, within my own self. So if this resonates with you, that you might not have been, like maybe you're allowing yourself to heal, but you're not allowing yourself to go forward with your dreams and to create, please do so. Okay, and next we have Penelope Dreamweaver, which is actually Brian Froud's personal inspiration fairy. Talk about following up with a message to remind us to follow our dreams. So we might have been receiving more inspiration lately to create. This is encouraging us to definitely do so. So with this here, we're being encouraged to seek and allow visions and inspiration to come through us, and it's reminding us to be aware that they're often subtle and require not only close attention but acknowledgement that you received that at all. So fantasies, dreams, and daydreams are all places that our inspiration fairies can contact us, but they can also pop up unannounced. And this, for myself, has been where they usually pop up, where other activities such as when you're washing your hands or washing the dishes, maybe taking a shower, a bath, driving your car on a stretch of road that isn't really too busy, anywhere else that our mind is between half occupied and half running on idle. Pay attention especially to unsought inspirations at this time. Maybe there are old dreams that you had shelved, but for some reason you're being called to go pick up your old bass guitar or go pick up your old whatever it is, clay or paints or whatever it is that you're called to pick up. Go ahead and do that, especially if you weren't like sitting there, okay, I'm waiting for inspiration. If you weren't in a place like that, but you received some sort of inspirational impulse, go for it. Definitely go for it, because they have wonderful things to offer you, but it's up to us to catch them and to bring them into reality, which supports what we just saw here with the Green Woman. The Green Woman was reminding us, hey, don't allow this energy to stagnate. You must keep moving it forward, because fertile ground is where things grow, and you have amazing fertile ground right now. If you don't bring forth your dreams and realities into existence, things are going to grow there anyway. It might as well be our dreams. It might as well be the things that bring us joy. And that's what Penelope Dreamweaver is here. Like, hey, maybe some of us aren't allowing the creative expression to come forth, but we're encouraged to do so. We're reminded that we have inspiration fairies here to guide us. And Leaves of the Shadows is here as well. Thank you for showing up. Surprisingly, I appreciate you. This fairy is the patron fairy of social workers, therapists, healers, and everyone who tries to help people such as drug addicts, alcoholics, and other souls that are caught in the darkness of their own inner shadows, or who are or have been abused by those who should have protected them. But she's not the type to just sit in an office somewhere. She's out there on the streets, lending a healing hand there, soothing an anguished brow there, whispering comfort and encouragement into a lonely ear, and bringing a touch of hopeful rainbow light into the deepest shadows, including those in darkened human hearts. Her specialty is help for the hopeless, for the ones that most everyone, including themselves, have given up on, for the street people, the lost children of our society, those who have fallen through the cracks and rips of our feeble social safety nets. She often works through human hands, and she may even call upon you for help with her work. But ultimately, here she is showing up here to remind us that something that had seemed lost and fixed in that loss is now open to healing. Someone's ready to begin, and maybe with some help, the climb out of inner mire. That she's reminding us that there's hope here, a need for loving kindness tempered by practicality. She is trying to inspire practical help for those who need it the most. She's the inspiration for the first wobbly steps taken by a damaged soul toward healing. She is also associated with addictions and healing those addictions. So this fairy is with us. If anybody has anything that they might be addicted to, maybe they were numbing some pain with something, and it doesn't always have to be drugs. Oftentimes people think, oh, an addict, well, it's going to be on drugs or something, but that's not always the case. We might be addicted to things that don't serve us, and it might not even be anything that's on the surface bad, but it might be just maybe we're binge watching things that are taking time away from our time to create, or maybe we're drinking or eating things that aren't helping us, but maybe we're doing it for like maybe drinking too many energy drinks because we think it's going to make us more productive, and now we've gotten to a point that we can't really function well without an energy drink or 5 or whatever it is. And it seems like, okay, but I'm being productive, but I'm trying to do this, or it might be, you know, straight up some sort of drug addiction. She's here to shed her light upon us and help us take those steps to move forward out of that, to acknowledge that we might have something that would be holding us back, something that we might have picked up in this time of healing. Especially a lot of the Libra collective seems, at least according to tarot readings across the past couple months from several different readers, it seems like a lot of us went through something and it stayed with us, whether it was this year or some time ago. Something's been really something that our spirit was gnawing on, that was holding on. It was painful, and we went through that, and that we're finally ready to move forward, some of us reluctantly so. And she's here, which is beautiful. She's here to shed light upon us. She supports us. She encourages us. And here we have the Singer of Courage, which we've seen recently, right next to the Roar, which we've also seen recently. And then even Geo the Slow. This has just been so beautiful. Okay, so with the Singer of Courage was coming in inverted the other day. The Singer of Courage is here upright. This indicates that we are in a place that, and it is also in the place where the Fairies of the Future card came in yesterday and the other day, which I watched the video again and was impressed, like, wow, you guys came up in the same place. That's, wow, cool. And here I feel like it's telling us you have it. If you allow it, the courage is here. The Singers of Courage will sing songs of courage to you, to flow through you, to help you achieve those dreams that you're being inspired to act upon, to help you lift yourself out of any shadows that might have served you for a while but that aren't serving you anymore, to allow ourselves to even do so at all. This takes courage, and if we allow it, the Singers of Courage will continue to sing songs to keep us moving forward. We must be open to receiving these impulses, though, and continue to act upon them. Don't dismiss them as being something that you shouldn't do if it feels in alignment with your spirit, if it brings you joy, because this is here to remind you that the courage is here for you. This is simply allowing that we can transcend our fears by accepting the gift of courage. Here we have the Roar with unbridled enthusiasm. So it feels like with this card being here again, and I can see the Roar is going to pop out again. This is like that Tigger energy that I have been calling it, like, you know, bouncing around. This is also here to remind us, okay, allow it, allow your healing, allow yourself to create, allow yourself to receive and act upon inspirations, allow yourself to move forward through anything that might not be serving you. Do it courageously and with unbridled enthusiasm. At the same time, of course, don't go bouncing your way all Tigger style into the ditch or something. And if you do, you know, you can bounce right out, but we don't really want to go into there in the first place. We want to take this energy forward. And right next to Geo the Slow, which is funny because I feel like Geo is looking at the Roar right now and smiling. But with Geo the Slow, maybe some of us were trying to rush a process. Maybe we are being called to act upon our creative desires and impulses and everything, but maybe we aren't seeing the results that we had hoped to see just yet, which is interesting because it seems like that seems to be the case for all Libras across the tarot readings. Again, we keep receiving the Temperance card where it's like, be patient, and it's like, well, can you tell my bill collectors that? Kind of energy it seems. So some of us may have been getting impatient with Geo the Slow, and it's interesting being right next to the Roar where it's like, okay, so maybe some of us have allowed the healing. We're acting upon our inspirations. We're allowing ourselves to receive them. We're doing the shadow work and coming on out of that. We are courageous with this enthusiasm, but hey, why is it taking so long? And Geo the Slow is an appreciator of such processes. For example, Geo loves to watch things and wonder, like, how long is it going to take for that water to wear that rock away? How much has that mountain grown or eroded in the last millennium? Geo is there watching attentively, making certain that things don't happen too fast, resulting in a slipshod job. So with his presence in a reading, where it's indicating that the situation or issue is part of a long process that cannot well be hurried. It's important for us to settle in for the long haul and to set a pace that we can maintain for as long as needed while remaining relaxed and patient. So it's reminding us, okay, sure, maybe some of us were getting in a place of stasis where we weren't really moving. We must go ahead and keep moving. Even if we're just taking slow steps, like for example, if our journey to fitness starts with face exercises, so be it. Get started at all. Unnecessary delays or even stalling may be going on here when this card is in the reverse. So whether the receivers of this, us, are the cause or the victim of this, which seems to be in some cases for both, it may be time for us to give things a tactful but firm push to get them in motion. Geo may be in charge of slow processes, but they should actually be proceeding and not stuck. So this is a reminder with the green woman, don't get stuck. Don't okay, yes, I'm healing and I'm starting to feel a little bit better, and then we just kind of stay stuck like that. We don't want things to grow in this fertile time that we don't want to grow. We want our dreams to grow. We want the things that are holding us in the shadows to help us grow out of them. We can do that with courage and unbridled enthusiasm, and we can be patient about it. We can have the expectant gratitude, knowing that we will receive what we've asked for, what we've been moving towards. Here we have the topsy-turvettes at the bottom of the deck. And this card... He of the fiery sword is underneath and in reverse. We'll go into that too. I meant to pick up the whole deck. I'm not sure why I just picked up the first one, but okay. This is the design on all the cards, front and back. I mean, on the back, this one is the only one front and back because, as you can see, same design. I've actually pulled this card on accident in the past and thought that I had inverted another card or reversed another card, but it's just because it's a topsy-turvette. This card is generally telling us that things need to be looked at from another angle, that we need to back off from our emotional entanglement and look anew. Maybe sometimes that's what was keeping us in stasis. Maybe some of us were looking at things from an emotional perspective, and this is encouraging us to release the emotion and look anew at it. That much of the apparent confusion about the issue can be caused by a faulty point of view, or maybe not necessarily faulty, but a place that puts us in a victim mindset or a lack mindset. Even if we were genuinely the victim of something, we have the ability now to move forward through it. Now we have the ability to tell a new story, to tell a story of how we overcame this, how that didn't stop us from becoming all that we know that we are, all that we were here to do. So this is also reminding us that we can get the opinions of honest others and we can re-look at our own, but when we align with what we feel within our spirit self, and when we aren't our truest, highest of high self, and we aren't allowing the influence of things otherwise to deter us from that, then we can move forward with all of this all the more effectively and efficiently. So sometimes we also might be feeling defensive, or we might be in denial, and that can be causing much difficulty. So this card encourages us to try imagining that we are looking at the situation from the point of view of each of the others involved. And this is not an exercise in deciding how the other ought to see things, but into discovering how they really do. Words like he or she ought to see that are not useful at this time. And this says, if the Turvette's card turns up and another point of view does not readily suggest itself, it may be useful to draw another card for further information, or you might choose to do another reading addressing that issue independently. Remember to pause to listen for hints from the Tervets themselves. They are experts in the field, which is interesting because, like I said, I went to go get the whole deck, but for some reason felt like, I don't know, I just pulled it up. Like, I surprised myself just now. Like, why did I pick up the first card? I meant to pick up the deck, and now I revealed the card underneath, and then it's like, but I didn't mean to. And I feel like that's because when we're looking at the book, it's officially saying, like, it may be useful to draw another card for further information. So let's go ahead and check this out. So with He of the Fiery Sword popping up and in the inverted position, maybe we weren't allowing this card to, or this singer to sing the song, or we were, maybe the song of the singer, this He of the Fiery Sword, was a little bit muted for some of us. This card here, with the presence of the fiery sword in a reading, this can indicate that there is a need for clear and focused will and a determination to carry through on decisions, even if much effort is required. We have the Singer of Courage to help us go through that, though. Or this card can tell us that such will and strength is present in regard to the issues under consideration. We will need to consider how this resonates and how we are expressing his will and strength, and how that expression may be enhanced or improved. It is this singer's energy that enables us to burst the bonds of an outgrown way of being or thinking and move on to the next level. He indicates that this is a time to take action based on clear spiritual will. His presence indicates great strength and great potential for good. It also reminds us that if we call upon him, that we will receive assistance. The presence of this card in a reading radiates strength and willpower to the cards around it. So when this is reversed, it says, like all of the singers, this card does not have a reversed meaning as such, because He of the Fiery Sword is present in full measure throughout the universe on all levels. Reversal here speaks of an archetypal energy that is blocked or unaccepted by the querent or watcher or another involved in the issue. When He of the Fiery Sword is reversed, the question we need to ask ourselves is, how may I free strength and will in my life and allow the vital force to flow through? Wow, we received quite the bonus today. We've been receiving quite the bonuses lately, actually. I appreciate that greatly. Even if it does turn this, I wanted this to be like around 10-15 minutes, and here we are doubling that. I hope that, you know, everyone's all right with that, and if not, well, I figure you would have clicked away by now, but here we go. Let's see what, oh, I've already brought it. Oh, well, I opened up the deck. Somebody was inverted with this. The seer says, see beyond the current situation. Sorry to laugh. I just find it's my enthusiasm bubbling out. That's my roar coming out, because it's like, hey, look, this is matching everything. I just opened up the deck and I was going to just shuffle, but for some reason felt the need to show you. So here we go. See beyond the current situation. We might need a different perspective on that. And here, some of us haven't been exchanging energy to create abundance. The trader is reminding us that we are able to do so. Okay, let me get a bigger table. Oh, sorry about that. I almost dropped some cards and bumped into the table. It's kind of hard air shuffling, but we'll do this. Okay. Oh, wow, I felt like that. Okay, I usually don't shuffle like that, but here we go. Again, just going with the flow of all of this. Ooh, mountains inverted. We'll touch upon that in just a bit. Here we go. We received 3. We received Medicine Mother to honor our inner knowing. We received the Snake inverted to shed old skin. Maybe some of us weren't allowing that through. And the Hunter inverted as well to track down our fears and desires. Maybe some of us have been avoiding the shadow work. But let's go ahead and dive into these here, starting with the Medicine Mother. So she's here and she arrived in this position. I feel that we have been connecting with our inner knowing, and maybe that's also allowing the healing to come through, and we do have more courage. Maybe we're starting to feel the courage, we're starting to feel the enthusiasm, because we are honoring our inner knowing. And this card is an action card. This is straight up just tells you to take action. So here I feel like it's finding a place here. Take action upon these things. Don't let the energy in your fertile mind area, sphere of existence becomes stagnated. You don't want things to grow that you don't want to grow. You want to choose what you grow, what you allow to grow. And you can choose that through your inspirations and dreams. The Medicine Mother is here to support that very strongly, to honor our inner knowing straight up, to take action, to do what we need to do. So it's saying that the medicine of this card indicates it, or says that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end, that it's not the end of the world, it's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The Medicine Mother reminds us that even though we will have low lows, we aren't here to suffer. We're here to be supported and to support others. Let her give us the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. And it's also indicating that there's an old pattern rising up in us now. Maybe some of us have a tendency to shy away from things that we know are calling us forward. This is indicating that there's an old pattern rising up within us now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. We're being encouraged to love and respect ourselves enough to take the steps we know we need to take to move closer to where we'd like to be. We already know the answers. We know what we need to do. We may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now we are being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. That right there, the next one will be presented to you, reminds me of yesterday's reading with the next steps that are being illuminated to us through the hoofprints of lace. So next we have to shed old skin. I feel like this goes right where it's at. So being that it was inverted, maybe some of us were holding back from shedding something that was not serving us, which especially here with a card like this coming in, maybe it was something that we were addicted to. I mean, it could even be something as simple as watching too many tarot videos because we're trying to find out what's happening next. And it's like good on us that we're trying to align with our spirituality, but if we're using that time that we could be creating to just binge watch these things in hopes of finding the next step, it's like the next step is within. We need to shed these old things that are holding us back from receiving that which is within, because maybe some of us aren't seeing it or feeling it yet, but maybe it's because we haven't allowed ourselves to release those shadows that are holding on to us. So with this card, it not only represents the shedding of old skin, but moving beyond the limitations caused by carrying the venom of negative thoughts about others or of the past. It's encouraging us here, reminding us that the energy of renewal is washing over our life at this time. If for some reason we feel that our true selves haven't been recognized or that we've been misread by others, know that this energy is now leaving us, as we've been working hard through old stories and all the self-limiting beliefs that we've accumulated through along the way. We've been peeling away a shield of skin that has caused and created limiting experiences. Our own personal commitment to growth has been recognized, and now the external world will begin to reflect all of the work that we've been doing within. Finally, right? If we feel someone we love has misunderstood us recently, they will be able to see beyond that if we're willing to recognize our own challenges. This is a time for renewal, abundance, and connection, to let ourselves be reborn and celebrated. So those of us who have been skipping the shadow work, let's make sure that we do that, okay? Because the thing about those old shadows is that if we don't bring them up and lovingly transmute them into something that will serve us, they will continue growing. And they might grow into things that we don't want and that don't serve us. Here we have the Hunter, and he was inverted. He is telling us to track down our fears and desires. So here I feel like it goes right in the middle. And I feel like that because it's like, okay, we have our desires. We're also being encouraged to find those fears. They might be something from when we were a kid. Maybe we feel like, oh, I'll never have good friends because whatever. And then it's like, oh, but because of this one time when I was a kid and then this happened and I've been carrying that energy and I don't need to carry that around. I'm an amazing friend and I know when I'm an amazing friend. And if other people don't see that, well, there are other people that will, and those are the people that I'm going to vibe towards, kind of energy, moving forward through things like that. and identifying that we were even carrying them at all. This is here, and look how he's not messing around. He doesn't have anything blinding him as he moves forward to track down his fears and desires. He looks clear. This card is telling us to track down all of our fearful thoughts and feelings, because when we find them, we will find our desires too. Our fears are the only things that are standing between us and what we desire at this time. So if we have to come face to face with them, as the hunter does with wild animals, and we go beyond them. So instead of being hunted down by our fears or other things that we have buried, become the hunter. We are being given confidence and strength at this time. So use your power to make a difference. Yes, we are not here to cower away or live in the shadows. We are here to realize our fullest potential, but this can only occur when we step up and do what needs to be done. Straight up, do what needs to be done. When this card arises, there could be an opportunity to face an aspect of your past or bring you closure to a situation that has been haunting you. If you are a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. If you are a female or identify as female, this card represents your capacity to be strong and powerful and overcome limitations. And it doesn't say this here, but if you identify as beyond that, will allow that energy to flow through you and be the best that of which you are. Here we have the mountains, and they were inverted. The mountains tell us to stand our ground, and sometimes maybe some of us were allowing ourselves to be bowled over by fears. So maybe some of us are quick with our words to other people, but within we might have had fears and different things that we were allowing to become like mountains for us. So this card here is telling us to hold firm to what we believe in or are focusing on. So if we're focusing on our dreams, we're focusing on letting go of things that are keeping us stuck in the shadows, then it is encouraging us to keep holding firm to what we believe in or are focusing on, because it is absolutely right. Know that heaven and earth are supporting us. Mountain energy is powerful because it's firmly rooted in the Great Mother and reaches high to the Great Father. If you're feeling challenged or pressured at this time, know that your spirit is more powerful than you think. You are resilient and grounded, and the energy and air of the mountains are taking you the unshakable strength to be who you are. Take time to root yourself deeply in the energy of the earth before welcoming in the energies of heaven. If you're not sure what you need to do next, the mountain card invites you to stay exactly where you are, talk things over with those around you, and know that change will come to you. You will be whole and well at the end of this current situation, and it will not stand in the way of your future growth and expansion. So this is telling us to stand our ground, while the green woman is also here reminding us, but don't become stagnant. Stand firm to your dreams and inspirations. Let those move you forward. If you're not sure what to do yet, take some time to pause, take some time to do some shadow work, take some time to release. Because when you hunt down those fears and things that are holding you back, your desires will be illuminated, your inspirations will come through, you'll be able to move forward and do what you need to do. The singer of courage is here. We can have this unbridled enthusiasm. Just be careful it doesn't take you into somewhere you don't want to go, and appreciate the process. Wow, we received a lot today. I really hope that you all were able to receive some inspiration, some guidance. I know I certainly was. I hope the same and beyond for you. I look forward to hearing in the comments what you all are bringing forth, but maybe not right now. After it's come forth, let me know, because we've also been encouraged to move in silence, Libra. So whatever we're doing, let's just, keep it within, keep moving forward, make these dreams manifest, and then we can let others know, hey, I did that. Check it out. All right. I wish you a very wonderful rest of your day. And I will be back with more guidance from the fairies soon.